Hi, my name's Lorraine Murray, and I am the founder of a campaign called Teach Children Meditation, and also of the Connected Kids programme, which is trying to teach people like you who are passionate about helping young people bring meditation and mindfulness into their life, because life can be very challenging sometimes. And as well as teaching this, I also write blogs, and I wrote a blog about the metoo campaign, all about the sexual harassment of women and how meditation and mindfulness can play a part in helping us through that. And so I thought I would share. I would actually record it as well, rather than just allow you to read it, because sometimes it's quite nice to not have to read things online all the time, and just to sit back and listen and just check in with how it makes you feel as you're listening to it. For me, it's been quite interesting. I find it really difficult, actually, the Me Too campaign, because it throws up some questions for me. If you can hear some noises, it's actually my dog rustling around in the background here. So we kind of know it's been going on for years and years. So it's not new to us. You know, it's this silent epidemic that's been going on in society. And, you know, I'm a female, and if you're male or female actually watching this, you may have had an experience like this before. It's not exclusive to females, although we tend to be on the brunt, the receiving end of it more often than not. But it's not new. You know, I have had experiences in my life that I wish hadn't happened. And I have to say that's probably one of the reasons why I turned to meditation and yoga, because it really helps me heal from those experiences and not live in the past with that. It helps me physically, mentally and emotionally with it. So, you know, I get it. I know it happens a lot. And I considered writing Me Too up on social media, but there's something about it that makes me feel quite uncomfortable. And I couldn't quite get to the bottom of what that was. It was really strange seeing friends write these words up, people I had known a long time, and it just left me hanging. It was suddenly finding something out about someone and being quite shocked sometimes, and yet feeling guilty because I didn't want to silence them, and not knowing what to do with it. You know, when you watch the news and you see a terrible tragedy taking place and you just feel so helpless, I felt a bit like that. And I don't know, it just didn't sit comfortably with me to put my voice to that too. But I did meditate on this, I did reflect on it. That's what I do with my meditation practice. And I realised that it's two parts to it really. It's the start of a conversation. It's about us raising awareness that this exists. It's giving a voice to it. And I understand that. You know, I do. But it's also about mindfully navigating your way through this, so it doesn't become trashed by just being used on social media. You know, that we don't pick it apart with our mind, that we actually open our heart to this situation that's been around for such a long time, and we try and find some solutions from the heart to this epidemic that we have in society. So how does mindfulness and meditation fit into all this? You know, if you're new to meditation, you can perhaps you're thinking that it's all about sitting quietly and calmly and, you know, just focusing on your breath, which it is actually. It can be a lot of that, and it does help reflect into finding more peace in your life, you know, although life can still be challenging, but we recover from it more quickly if we practice meditation. But actually, meditation can also be used to help us embrace these problems that we're witnessing and experiencing in society in a different way. It almost helps us to silence the chatter of the normal mind so that we hear our heart speak. And I talk about this in class quite a lot, about listening to the intuitive voice of our heart. It's not about analysing and being logical and analytical. It's about going much, much deeper with that. And so what I do when I sit and meditate is I get myself into a more relaxed position, and then I drop the problem or the question in. I just ask myself it, and then I start to focus on my breath, and it helps to quieten down my normal day-to-day mind, and then my heart opens and I can hear this intuitive voice, this speech that comes through that my mind can pick up, and I get the most amazing insights because of that. And to be perfectly honest, it was actually how I wrote my first 2 books about teaching children meditation, so I know it's very, very powerful. So that's what I mean by finding solutions with our meditation and mindfulness practice. So what kind of things can we meditate on? I think we should be meditating on the pain and anguish that young people have experienced because of this harassment that they've suffered, to find new ways of helping them move through this, and to find the confidence to say no or enough, or at least have the confidence to report it if something happens to them. I think that's one of the things that we need to meditate on. I also think we should spend our time in meditation actually reflecting on the motives of the perpetrator. And that's one of the most challenging things to do, because often we just want to blame someone, we want to be angry, we want to be upset. And I understand all that, but it doesn't really provide a long-term solution how we help prevent these things in the future, because the perpetrator had a motive that wasn't just based on an instinct. Maybe there was something physically or hormonally or chemically going on for them. Sometimes these things have developed over years and years and years of experiences, and how do we recognize that? How do we find a way to help them so that it doesn't repeat that behavior, and that says it's okay to treat another human being this way? So sitting with our meditation practice and actually examining and reflecting on that. I also think we need to meditate on how we find our voice, not just the metoo campaign, but the voice that we can recognize when we know something is out of balance. You know, this Mr. Weinstein has been held up as the villain of the piece, but he didn't act alone. He was supported by all those people that knew it was going on and they kept silent. They could feel it was out of balance, but they didn't say anything and didn't do anything. So how do we, as we meditate on that, how do we find that power in that voice, that confidence to speak up when something feels out of balance? It's about meditating on finding that inner heartfelt voice, about accessing that part of us that's in there. I know it's in there, I know it's in me, I know it's in you. It's in everybody. You know, it's one of the reasons why we teach children meditation, because we really feel strongly, all the people I teach, that we've got to empower children with this knowingness, this inner heartfelt voice. Because really, if we want to change the world into a place that's much more peaceful, we really have to start with the people that we're educating now, that we're caring for now, as children and as teenagers. We have to start that now. So how do we do that? How do we help them access it too? I think it's about meditating on how we help sons become the fathers to children that will help them have this sense of balance of love and kindness in their relationships. And I equally think we have to meditate on how we help mothers do that too. The women in our life, the young girls becoming women, potentially mothers, how they care for their children in a way that helps them develop this sense of balance and peace and love and relationships. I think it's about, as I said, empowering our young people to become these decent human beings that we're all trying to be, actually, to give them those mindful skills that are going to help them access that part of themselves, so that they can just make a difference in the world, that they can at least be empowered with awareness of having a choice. And it's not going to just help them, serve them when it's the peaceful, easy times. It's really when it's the challenging times like this, that's when their mindful and meditation practice is really going to come in and help them. I really feel that if we teach young people meditation, they're going to have this, they're going to become pioneers of peace. This is what I call the people I teach. You become pioneers of peace. So our society at the moment is so logical and so analytical, so headstrong, that we've forgotten about the heart. You know, we detached sex from love, and it's really about helping our young people to bring a balance between the head and the heart, so that we can treat each other with more kindness. We can cherish the world that we live in and everyone that we come into contact with as well. I really feel strongly, though, that to me, teaching children meditation and mindfulness for times like this, when they will feel challenged and they'll see us feeling challenged, it gives them this set of life skills that, you know, helps them become more resilient to recover from those challenging times when they fall down, because they are going to fall down. That's part of human nature. It's part of our experience of life. It's going to give them the empathy, the ability to forgive. It's going to give them the sense of kindness and compassion, as I said, to cherish themselves and other human beings and the planet that we live on and everything else that exists on it too. So I think we get caught up in this idea that meditation is really about helping a young person to pass exams because they can focus and concentrate and sleep better and feel calmer. And yeah, these are all lovely little, what I would call byproducts of learning meditation. But for me, the real essence, the real reason that we're teaching children meditation is so that they become these incredible human beings that help shape our world, just makes a difference, just really cherishes you and me and themselves. And if you can spend the time, just even a couple of minutes, showing a young person how to do this, and even if they don't pursue it with you, they maybe pursue it in their own time, or it takes them years before they start to pursue it, you've planted a seed with them. You've planted a seed of awareness that meditation and mindful practice exists, and they can turn to it and learn it and employ it in their life when they need it. And that is an incredible gift to give a young person. So from my heart to yours, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this and to actually teach someone meditation. Namaste.